What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Sit Down Saturday. Today we're going to be comparing the Magic Square versus the New Age Soundwave. This is their third title bout here, right? We did the Megatrons, the Seekers, and now the Soundwaves. I think. Only three, correct? Before we do, we got to do a little bit of housekeeping. And ironically, this week I have absolutely nothing to clean up, with one exception. And no disrespect to the dude, I don't think he meant it that way, but he made a comment saying 4 minutes of house cleaning. Like, can you make it shorter? That's the only comment I had to talk about this week. Everything else went smooth as silk. I do that so that I don't have to respond to comments, so that I have more time to keep working, to keep producing things. So I can kind of read the comments, get a vibe, and then address some of the concerns. That's why we do housekeeping. Either to make a correction to something that I did wrong, or to address why I felt the way I felt, or to address people that I think are just way off base. And yours is the one we got to talk about this week. So in an attempt to get less, you actually got more, which is unfortunate. But I feel you. I don't want to do a ton of it either. Sometimes I have to because of stuff that's going on. Sometimes I don't. This is a week where I don't. Now, I'm also doing this on Wednesday, so there's more week to go. That might have something to do with it. All right, secondly, today, being Saturday, is the last day that you have to get your pre-order in on the blankets. Some I've already been able to fulfill. I'm offering the Dinobot blanket, which is my art. A portion of the proceeds go towards a family that lost their husband/father this year. I'm offering two sizes, Sherpa, which is approximately 50 by 60, and I'm airing on the smaller size, and the woven, which is approximately 60 by 70, once again airing on the smaller estimations. The woven looks fancier, it's nicer. The Sherpa is cozier. It's the constant battle we have of display versus function. Sherpa's $135 domestically, woven is $160 domestically. If you're from out of the country, hit me up for a price out of the country. You can reach me at this email here to place your order. You only have until midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight, and then all bets are off. So don't be that guy if you're interested. Email is bobbyskullface@gmail.com. Couldn't be simpler to remember. Unlike the Nerd Rage email, which is the longest one in known history. Anyway, with that, we can get right into this. I can tell you, I was surprised at the results. Let's begin. Alright, so we'll start off with build and material, and the build of the New Age is infinitely better, as are the materials. This is a category that they often win, and this one is no exception. If you remember from my Magic Square video, it literally fell apart into twos, or in halves, during the transformation of it, and it has that typical Magic Square kind of gummy plastic, which is just unfortunate. The New Age plastic feels very refined, plus it has die cast. It's just a well put together thing made with good materials.
And we'll move on to accessories. It feels weird not to start with accessories, but we'll move on to accessories. The Magic Square comes with two hands. The New Age comes with two hands. The Magic Square comes with two guns. The New Age comes with two guns. The Magic Square comes with two tapes, one of which is kind of a throwaway. The New Age comes with three tapes, all of which being core characters. However, the Magic Square Rumble is one of the greatest things ever made, in my opinion. And it comes with two guns for him. It also comes with pile drivers for Rumble, as does the New Age. The Magic Square has the transparent box thing, but it doesn't work, plus the stickers. But the New Age came with all three of the core cartoon tapes that you need. So what we have here, in my opinion, is a quality and quantity thing. New Age also came with the cannon thing for the hands. So I am going to tie this category. The Magic Square comes with more. The New Age comes with better for your buck. This is not an easy choice for me to make, but it's the only way I know to be fair. That Rumble is greater than all three of the New Age tapes. That's how I end up here, really.
Gimmicks wise, they both have tapes that can go in the chest, obviously. However, the New Age does work better in that regard. The New Age comes with the light up feature for the chest, and the New Age has these magnets on his forearms, which I didn't talk about in the review, but they connect to the little magnets on the bottom of Laserbeak's feet. So gimmicks wise, it's 3-1. Moving on to hardware, they tie. We're talking about ball pegs, we're talking about hinges, we're talking about tension and pins. So they're gonna tie there. Moving on to sculpt and paint and taking a frontal view, so to speak, I think that they're both good for different reasons. This kind of hits on what I talk about here with going two-tone versus a more mature sort of heroic aesthetic. Ironically, the little one is the more heroic, and the more tune in terms of looking cartoony is the Magic Square. That's not a bad thing. It's a preference thing. It's how you work the proportions. It's small choices based on color palette and sculpt. So I'm tying them here here because I think they both do what they want to do and they both achieve the goal they're trying to achieve. My preference is the New Age, but I don't think that the Magic Square is wrong. I have to give New Age the point for it. I can't actually tie them because we are talking about sculpt and paint. So while the sculpt is tied, the paint New Age takes. Looking at the head sculpts from the front, the New Age has much more paint, and I prefer the sculpt. And I'll tell you where I prefer the sculpt. It's in the shape of the eyes. The larger eyes for the New Age just ends up looking better and has a little bit more attitude to me than the Magic Square. From the side, I think it's pretty negligible. Obviously, the paint still comes through, but the sculpt, I feel like, evens out there. As far as their chests are concerned, color palette aside, because I think there are people out there that like the lighter blue. I prefer the darker blue. In my mind, when I think of the cartoon, I see the darker blue. I'm sure he was lighter in some episodes or whatever the case may be. But when I think of Soundwave, I think of the cartoon, I see a darker blue. I think of the Masterpiece toy, I see a darker blue. I think of the G1 toy, I see a darker blue. Obviously, there's more paint on the New Age, but I like that the Magic Square has an abdomen where the New Age kind of doesn't. I mean, it's there. It does angle down. It has a little taste in there, so to speak, but the Magic Square definitely has a defined abdomen, which I do like. Looking at it from the side, I'd say it's pretty negligible. I do like the more pronounced backpack. It just seems more indicative of the character on the New Age, but it's such a small thing, and the Magic Square certainly has one, so to me, they tie there. Looking at the arms, this is really a tie. Technically, the New Age has more paint. However, let me tell you what I like about the Magic Square here. I like that they painted the forearm part, but they still have the blue elbow. It gives it more of a seamless and more purposeful look, whereas the New Age doesn't. I also like the shoulder proportions on the Magic Square over the New Age. From the side, I think the Magic Square takes it as well because the New Age elbow portion of the forearm flap comes all the way up to the shoulder and it totally negates the bicep, whereas the Magic Square takes the bicep. So while the New Age has more paint, sculpt-wise, the Magic Square just gets too much right here. Now, looking at the hips and thighs, I think that the Magic Square is cleaner. I think the New Age is better decoed, but I think the Magic Square is cleaner. It's funny because I thought that this was going to be a home run for New Age, but looking at both of them and appreciating the nuances between the two, it's tighter than you'd think. From the side, I think Magic Square takes it, you know? Have to be fair. The New Age one looks anorexic. Looks like he's doing too much intermittent fasting. He's on that 420 plan. Yikes. Now, the lower legs is one of those parts where the New Age really sends it home. They look so much better. The bump out at the knee section, the clean breakup in colors between yellows and grays and blues, the silver feet. This is one of those sections where New Age takes both the sculpt and the paint by a landslide. I had to show the inside of the legs for these just to show just how much more went in both sculpt-wise and paint-wise to the New Age. This is really where the New Age sends it home. The little record button on the inside of the legs, the R sculpted into the inside of the leg, all the tech details on the outside of the leg, like this is just, no question, a win for New Age. From the back, sculpt-wise, I'd say they're about equal. Maybe you could argue that the Magic Square is cleaner. However, I like the paint better on the back of the New Age. The little painted details on the back of the backpack and on the back of the calves. So paint is going to go to New Age, but because of how clean the Magic Square is, we'll give sculpt to Magic Square. We're going to tie them out here.
And what we have is a tied game with New Age taking the head, lower legs by a landslide, and the front, kind of full frontal view, so to speak, the overall presentation, and Magic Square getting them on the arms, hips, and thighs, mainly for cleanliness and definition. I tied them at the torso because Magic Square has an abdomen, and that just works better for me. And the back view, I tied them as well, with New Age having the better deco, Magic Square having the cleaner sculpt.
Articulation-wise, we're going to start with the Magic Square. It's on a ball peg. Using it, you can get the head all the way up, so to speak. Not really any down, and you do get a swivel. Oh, I don't really think much for sass. For the New Age, you can also get the head all the way up. You can get it a little bit down, plus the swivel, and some sass. Magic Square, you get a waist swivel and reverse ab crunch. New Age, you get a swivel and forward ab crunch. The range is greater, though, on the forward, so I got to think about how I'm going to score that. Magic Square, you have a universal for the shoulder. You get up past 90 degrees, the swivel around, and a reverse butterfly to an extent. New Age operates off a ball peg. You get 90 degrees, the swivel around, and you can reverse butterfly
due to the flap. Bicep swivel, bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow, double jointed elbow. Wrist swivel, and hinge up down. T-jointed ball joints for hips for the full Van Damme, moving flaps out of the way, pretty much the full Monty. T-jointed ball joints for hips, getting you the full Van Damme, flaps out of the way for the full Monty. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee for past 90 degrees, single jointed knee for 90 degrees. Ankle tilt down, ankle tilt up, rocker. No ankle tilt up or down, but you get a rocker. And it's a tied game. New Age takes the head and wrist categories because it has that downward motion of the wrist due to transformation. Magic Square takes the ankles because it beats it pretty much in every way. And the knees due to the double joint with the wider range of motion. Now, just to clear up some things, I did make them tie out the torso. One has the backward ab crunch, one has the forward ab crunch. I prefer forward over backward, but I'm trying to remain as fair as possible. The only other one that I wanted to make sure I made mention of was the shoulders. Magic Square has the higher up range out to the side, but New Age, you can get more out of the transformation butterfly, which isn't technically a joint. So if you want to finagle that in your mind any way you see fit, I get that too. I'm just trying to play it as fair down the middle as possible. And these are the only categories where I can be like, yes, these definitely take the win in these specific categories. Looking at the scale charts, and we're using the New Age / DX9 scale chart for the New Age, the Magic Square one for the Magic Square, and looking at the G1 Sumbo chart, he should be right underneath the purple line. And there's DX9's right underneath the purple line. And if you're looking at the Magic Square, look at his head, right there underneath the purple line. Everybody that said I was crazy and that my charts were off, look how accurate they tend to be. Long story short, they tie. When talking about the transformations, both of them use very similar techniques in a lot of ways. However, they both sort of fall victim to the same shortcomings as well, where it becomes a fit and finish issue with things kind of moving smoothly and allowing it to tab in properly and lock into place naturally. A lot of it has to be pushed. Mainly this comes down to two different things. With Magic Square, it comes down to the materials, and with New Age, it comes down to, I think, not accounting for the layer of paint. They both also tend to have a bit of frustration in regard to the legs. Not that it's going to take forever and make you want to bash your head up against the wall, but just that you'll recognize that it just doesn't work as smoothly as the upper body. It's also interesting that they both use the kind of spin around torso gimmick, but it works well for both. Now, the alt mode, on the other hand, I think we have to give to New Age. It looks more purposeful. It looks like a little mini Walkman or tape deck, whereas the Magic Square one pretty much operates like a shell over top of the front and maybe some of the sides. And it ends up looking like the difference between a brick wall and a faux brick wall, where you can just tell that the bricks are so fake versus the brick wall that has that natural brick aesthetic. So alt mode wise, it's got to go to New Age. Which one looks better?
You need the one on the right.
All right, pick them up, mess with them a bit.
Yeah, I still like this one.
All right, which one do you think looks better?
Probably this one.
All right, and pick them up.
Probably this one.
Okay. Selena, which one looks better?
The black one.
That's not black though. The darker one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Which one do you like the feel of better?
This one.
This one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Which one do you think looks better?
That one.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which one do you like in your hand the most?
That one.
This one? Okay.
Still that one.
Which brings us to our conclusion, and it looks like a slaughter, but I'll have more to say about this in a bit. New Age takes the gimmicks, the build, and materials. They also take the paint, alt mode, and presence. Magic Square takes the sculpt, mainly due to how they handle the pelvis and thighs, and Magic Square takes the price because it's about $20 cheaper. They tie in accessories, hardware, articulation, scale, transformation, and accuracy, and I think this is a pretty accurate representation of these two figures for a total score of 6-2 New Age.
So that's what it is, and I think it's fair, and I'll tell you why. See, the categories of build and materials, New Age is always going to take that. It's very similar to what SH Figuarts and Hasbro go through. SH Figuarts usually takes build and materials. The thing about that is that's an easy one, not necessarily a cost-efficient one, but an easy one for Magic Square to sort of address. Accessories do seem about equal, even though it's very different. Even though I respect the New Age approach far more than I respect the Magic Square approach, That rumble is very good. The New Age tapes are fine. The sculpt is a lot cleaner on the Magic Square, and I don't mean just tune accuracy, I just mean generally clean, like in the pelvis and thigh area. The New Age is painted better. The articulation's about even. Like a lot of these scores here are accurate to how I feel about both of these figures, and even though it feels like a landslide, the key stuff for me, which is why it's interesting, right? The key stuff for me as to what makes a figure good is about neck and neck. Articulation, tied. Sculpt and paint between the two, tied. Scale, tied. The materials are where I give New Age the nod. So I would also say that the New Age is the better choice between that and the Magic Square, depending on the scale you're going on. But in my mind, they're a lot closer than these results suggest. And that's interesting to me because the results are more objective, in my opinion. I do prefer the New Age, but I don't prefer it as kind of what is extremely represented here. And I've had this go the other way as well, where sometimes the one I prefer is the one that loses. I think just off the top of my head, the first SH Figuarts Mandalorian versus the Hasbro Mandalorian, I definitely prefer the Hasbro one overall, but the SHF one, because it's technically better. And I think probably the same with this one too. It's been a while since I've done that one as well. But that's pretty much how I feel about that one as well. Anyway, enough rambling. I do what I can in regard to housekeeping. I don't try to kill you guys with it. I just want to address some of the concerns that have popped up over the week that tend to be your concerns, not mine. And last day to get your blanket order in. Be safe. Butt ice is spiking again. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.